Watching your local news leader. This is The Morning Show.
Joining me this morning is Macon County Sheriff Jim Root. He's joining us again for another Chat with the Chief segment. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, all the time. You are welcome. I want to talk a little bit about some trends that you've been seeing over the last 10 years. I know you have some statistics you're able to share with us.
Yeah, this one, like I said, I've been in law enforcement for quite a long time, and over the last 10 years, we've seen a change in the way that things are happening. Kind of started out with, the Ferguson the deal, things that happened over there, and then shortly after that, they passed the Law Enforcement Body-Worn Camera Act. That went into effect around 2016, around there. So that was one of the first things is, they wanted to bring some transparency to law enforcement, which, most law enforcement officers are okay with that. When we first went to in-car cameras, law enforcement officers were really reluctant to be that transparent, but once they found out how beneficial it is, it was definitely something that they were able to get behind. And then shortly after that, we kind of worked through that, and then in 21 they passed the Safety Act, which is the Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity today. That act has two different prongs. One is the Law Enforcement Accountability and Transparency Act, which revolves around training and some of the things that law enforcement do as part of the requirements to make sure that the general public is safe from some of the practices that maybe they were seeing in law enforcement. And then shortly after that, or along with that, was the Pretrial Fairness Act. The Pretrial Fairness Act didn't necessarily go right into effect. It got challenged, so there were some legal battles with that, and it didn't actually go into effect until September of 23.
Very cool. So tell me how all of these changes have impacted the sheriff's office.
Well, it mostly the law enforcement side of it is a lot of the things that they passed in the Accountability Act with law enforcement, the training stuff. Some of the standards were already being implemented by most sheriff's office. The part of it that was a little bit struggle was the training part of it, which the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Boards is the regulations that allows for law enforcement officers to be police officers in the state of Illinois. They had some training standards that was very, very challenging at the beginning because there was no mechanisms in place. Some struggles with getting the training up and running and making sure that we're in compliance. And right now we're starting the compliance part of that, which is verifying that we're all compliant with the updated training. And some of that training is very challenging to get. When you got a very large department or office, you have to make sure that every one of your law enforcement officers have completed that training. And sometimes that becomes challenging.
Because that requires to take them off the street sometimes and do the training. Is that kind of why?
Yeah, our department's always been up on training, and we're always doing the best trends and making sure that we're training our officers correctly. The issue is some of the requirements were a little challenging to get I wouldn't say it's more the qualifier of if the training meets the standard that they wanted. So that was one of the things that's been a struggle for most departments, is making sure that the training that we are providing meets the standards of the state.
And do you find that it's better in your sheriff's office? I know it's a controversial topic a little bit.
Well, it's not necessarily controversial. It gives us our law enforcement officers a better understanding of
how things are changing.
How things change and how we need to adapt to the communities that we work in.
Very cool. Well, we are going to continue this conversation over on our WCIA Plus app. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you there.